All right, let's talk Browns and training camp. They went with a bit more intense. They stepped it up a little bit yesterday.
Sure.
And Coach Stefanski described it as sloppy. I'm going to start with Noah, but give me a take from training camp and what you're thinking as we finished up day 8. There's a lot of storylines, but I want to hear what you two want to talk about. So give me something and we'll react.
Can I start off by being a hater? And I don't want to be a hater, but I
got
to
be really opposite today.
That's crazy.
Well,
especially the Browns. The Browns are his baby.
I'm not hating on the Browns. I'm hating on one specific Cleveland Brown, and that is the all but nothing 5'8" quarterback that we decided was worth a third-round pick. I was at training camp for 2 days. I've seen clips since I was at training camp for 2 days. How is this guy going to see over the line? And I know that is a misconception and you can make ways around it, but the amount of times I've seen the pocket collapse on Dylan Gabriel, and I have no idea how he can even get the ball out, let alone make a pass. It's just frustrating to me because there's a rookie quarterback that we all have believed in. We wanted him to be the number 2 overall pick.
Oh, we wanted him to be
pause
great.
real quick because John wasn't a part of any of our conversations here.
Yeah.
But we had a YouTube comment the other day that basically said, "Why are you hating on Shador?" And I had to respond to it because I'm like, my man Noah bought a shirt before
and we were
even had
talking
him.
about it in the episode, too. They're like, typical Browns fans hating on Shador. And we were singing
when?
Shador's praise the whole time because he's looked good in camp. Speaking of Shador, camp ended before we went live today, and he actually did not do any of the team reps today because he had some muscle soreness. But who cares? We have joint practice next week and a preseason game, gentlemen. We get to watch some Cleveland Browns football.
Carolina Panthers.
And they're starting their starters.
It Saturday?
It's Saturday,
Which is my
7
birthday.
p.m.
So I get Browns football on my birthday, which is kind of fun.
That's cute.
That's nice.
Going back to Gabriel, 3 of 14 with an interception.
Jesus.
Last
Not
night,
good.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brady Quinn called. He wants to know what the hell's going on.
He has looked good leading up to that, though.
no, he hasn't.
He looks fair.
Like
He's looked all right.
prior,
didn't look as good as Flacco. Didn't look as good as Shador.
Since our last show, Erik, that has been the typical output we have seen of Dylan Gabriel. And I don't want to hate on him because at the end of the day, I don't care if it's Shador. I don't care if it's Flacco. I don't care if it's Kenny Pickett, who's someone we've learned to hate because he was a Steeler.
Just get us a
I
winner.
just want a good quarterback,
Fair.
right? But he has looked abysmal. Like, he hasn't lived up to the third-round status. He hasn't lived up to the status of having good processing and a good arm, and the only knock on him is his height. He's looked abysmal, in my opinion, and I don't want to hate on the kid because there's so many things to like about him.
Thank you for proving our earlier point. This is why you do not prioritize draft picks.
Oh, fair.
Because you don't know what you're getting.
I think Dylan Gabriel, too. I'm going to piggyback on Noah for my take for the Browns. I don't want to say throwing hate because he's young, but, not good, man. And he was taken ahead of Shador. I think I don't know. Maybe it wasn't clear to everybody else. When the draft night was over, my feeling was Flacco is going to be your starter, Shador is going to be your backup, and whoever else you want as a project.
Wait, over Pickett?
Yes.
You thought Shador would be backup?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Pickett is long-term and proven. I think there were, even though we had 4 quarterbacks plus Deshaun, I think it was two quarterback competitions. I think it was, I almost said Mason Rudolph.
Not a Cleveland Brown.
No.
Don't think he would ever become a Cleveland Brown.
Well, apparently
No, but
they had
I
a conversation or whatever.
Him and Miles?
Talking about the Myles Garrett helmet swing situation for
Yeah.
those who don't know who the quarterback that was hit by Myles Garrett. But
no, I think it was Flacco versus Pickett to start as the stopgap to figure out whether Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders is going to be the quarterback of the future. I think Flacco has already probably won the starting job. I think Sanders is showing up well enough that he's number 2. Whoever else they want to keep after that, if the third-string quarterback plays this year, we're screwed anyway. But
I thought we would see a Flacco number 1, Pickett number 2, Shador number 3.
no, they're not going to put Pickett in front of 2 quarterbacks they took in a draft. I didn't think. And I could still be wrong. It's still to be determined. We haven't seen an official depth chart to start the season.
Barry did say we could go in with all 4 on the roster, which is insane.
That's
but
insane.
it's not insane to me because they're, like I said at the top of the show when we were talking about Terry and Micah Parsons, we're not in a win-now window. So who cares about traditional roster management? Because
Fair.
if we have 5 receivers and 4 quarterbacks as opposed to 6 and 3 or whatever that split is that you typically see, Who cares?
My man Miles disagrees with you, though. We're pushing for the Super Bowl, buddy.
If I had
We're
a
always
quarter of $1
pushing for the
billion,
Super Bowl.
I'd say whatever the GM told me to say too.
What else is going on from camp?
There's plenty.
There was Lamarion James, cornerback, had a couple interceptions. That was cool to see.
Yep.
The biggest thing, obviously, is the Martin Emerson injury and Cam Mitchell stepping up into that slot corner role. Greg Newsome. Shout out Greg Newsome, by the way, because he said he wanted to retire as a Cleveland Brown, and I know that's probably just doing fan service and trying to get a better contract, blah, 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 blah. But you love to hear things like that. It
Absolutely.
still gets me going as
Especially
a
in
Browns
Cleveland.
fan.
All I'll say is with the Emerson injury, first of all, wish him a speedy recovery. Like, worst time for that particular player to have an injury going into a contract year. But thank God it's at a position where we have a little bit of depth.
That's true.
It is like very fortunate. Same thing with what's his name retiring and JOK being hurt this year. Linebacker and cornerback are like our two deepest positions. So for them to
Schlesinger gonna come in.
Can we talk about that first?
He's gonna have the green dot on his helmet, I think.
That's what I said. He disagreed with me.
I disagree because he's a rookie.
Because
I
he's a
still
rookie.
think
I think
he
he's
will.
still gonna call the play.
But
I
for
agree.
those who don't know, those who don't listen to our show weekly, we did a mock draft, and John picked Schlesinger to be our pick because we needed a linebacker. Got it right, and now he has been my favorite player to watch in all of camp. It would have been Judkins, and we'll get to Tim Lyon's comment in a second about Judkins.
I've never prepped for a show as much as I prepped for our draft.
Yeah.
I think I got 3 out of 4. I said Shador, I said Schlesinger, but anyway.
I
keep
did
going.
too, minus getting one name wrong that I will get flamed
That
for
wasn't
the rest
that.
of.
That was the live draft show, not the mock draft show.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you said for the live.
He
No,
mocked
the mock.
Schlesinger to us.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, like it wasn't March.
Back
but-
in the day, 2 months ago, yeah.
Right.
Time is different for these young bucks.
I'll
That's
take
true. I mean, at that time, I was working a completely different job. We didn't have mic flags. We were doing a live show that they couldn't even hear the audio, and now we're big time over here. So
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
You asked about takes that we wanted to talk about from training camp.
Yeah.
You hit on my first one, you hit on my second one. So the only other thing that I think, though, is I think there's another story that Flacco looks good in training camp, but pound for pound, play for play, it seems like the defense is outplaying the offense.
oh, 100%.
And that's another one. Like last year, our defense was kind of suspect. For the amount of money and the amount of talent we all feel like we have, whether it's Myles Garrett or Newsome or
Yeah.
Denzel Ward, we thought we'd have a juggernaut of a defense.
Right.
And credit to them, they were on the field way too long because our offense wasn't apt last year, so that was part of the problem. But hearing that the defense is consistently beating the offense in training camp, I think is a story too.
Which helps the offense, too.
Correct.
I mean, you're going up against potentially a top defense in the league. I say potentially. We know how that can work out.
Right.
But it's interesting. I think we will see a decent offense this year, though. I know it sounds crazy. We have new offensive coordinator, of course, coming in. I think it's going to be better than people are saying.
That's the biggest storyline to me is, we're coming out with all of these different statistics from training camp. ESPN Cleveland posts the day-by-day statistics of all 4 quarterbacks, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We talked about it on the show when we were in the dog days, and had nothing else to talk about. I made the graphics. Erik talked about the graphics, whatever.
He couldn't help himself.
I had to.
What?
I made the graphics for that.
For what?
The quarterback battle, you told me to make them. I made them.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, whatever.
I'll back him up. I remember.
So we'll get back to it, though. We're talking about quarterback stats at practice. To me, the quarterback stats at practice mean absolutely nothing until next week when we're doing this joint practice with the Panthers, and then we're doing the preseason game with the Panthers, especially with the Panthers starting all of their starters for this Week 1 preseason game. It's going to be fantastic to see.
Is it normal to have a preseason opponent also be your cross-practice partner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years. They've
Especially
been doing that a
like
lot.
if there's no crossover in terms of your schedule or whatever, they'll
Yeah.
do it all the
If
time.
we don't play him regular season, then who cares?
Yeah.
By the way, to the YouTube commenter that thinks we hate on Shador, something we didn't mention last time, Noah, that I did want to bring up is how it came out that Shador asked his father not to come to camp.
I think that was post our last show, but yes, I think that's awesome as well. Go ahead.
Saying basically that I'm not where I want to be. I'm working to get there. I don't want the distraction. Everything we've seen, minus the speeding tickets from this kid, has been so positive. I mean, he's out in the community raising money for an apartment fire.
The apartment fire, yeah.
He's literally doing everything
great.
right. You don't hear his name in a negative way in the press. He's not out, spending money where he shouldn't be, whatever.
Well, he might be, but he's also Deion Sanders' kids who really
But,
cares.
No, I meant, he's not in the club till 2 a.m.
Oh, right. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He does
But
nothing.
that's my point. This kid has come in despite all the hate because of his name, and frankly, he's impressed. Hopefully, he slows down a little bit on the road, but if that's the only thing we're talking about in a negative light,
They
I think
asked
we should
him-
all be
By the
really
way,
proud.
give that to me for my quarterback 10 times out of 10.
Right.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do anything. If I could draft a Mormon out of BYU who doesn't even watch rated R movies to be quarterback, give me that every time I got to take one.
Mormon
Focus on
quarterback is
football.
wild, but
Steve Young.
We already had Zach Wilson, and he didn't pan out in the NFL. Remember that.
Steve Young.
Zach Wilson was a Mormon.
He went to BYU, I
Yeah,
thought.
so did
Or
Steve
was
You
it?
have to be a Mormon to go to BYU. I don't think it works that
no,
way.
but
I don't know why
Especially
you
when
would.
play
I think he
football.
fit the stereotype. I'm not just putting
Sleeping
that
with
on
his-
him.
I think Steve
Yeah,
Young.
okay,
I
okay.
think
We have
friend.
kids in the crowd, Erik. Listen, Shador to me has impressed the most, whether it be on the field, off the field, whatever. And I don't just say that because I wanted us to draft him number 2. He has been everything you can ask of and more out of a rookie quarterback, and I'm excited to see what he can do for us this season.
More impressive than Flacco?
Let me get there. Not more impressive than Flacco. Flacco looked awesome the last 2 days at camp when he's gotten full team reps. He does still look like the most ready, willing, and able quarterback to be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Just for the record, you said Shador has been the most impressive player in camp, except for Flacco.
Oh, right, yeah. That makes logical sense, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Except
I'm with
for
you. For a
Flacco, he's been fantastic. He's been better than Pickett in my mind. He's been better than way better than Dylan Gabriel, and I don't want to hate on the kid. I want him to be good. I just want a good quarterback.
Not
But
good, man. I don't think he's going to be good.
I think, let me ask you this, because this has been a point of contention, especially with Shador not practicing today with the injury to his throwing arm, the arm soreness. I've heard the theory that they're letting Dylan Gabriel make his bed, basically, because they drafted him so high, they're giving him every opportunity, and if he just doesn't live up to the occasion, they'll just push him down the depth chart, and that's why we've seen him take so many first-time reps. Do you believe that, or do you think they're just blindly still following the fact that they love Dylan Gabriel?
No, I don't think that the NFL is a situation where you're like, all right, here's your rope. I think they genuinely want to push these guys to see who's the best fit for the roster.
So to raise you up a little bit, then why haven't we've seen Shador play against the first team defense?
Well,
we
hold
have
on.
not.
I think I differ a little bit. I think the politics of football do come into play
Yeah,
until a game or two is under your belt. We drafted this guy earlier. We want this guy to succeed. We see more in him. He was this guy's pick. You hear all those narratives.
Yeah, you want them to succeed.
I think
don't
that there's
think you push them to fail, though, which was what Noah was saying.
I think sometimes they probably do.
I
Put-
think they
Higher
do
draft
too.
pick?
Not-
There's
yeah.
no way you're Kevin Stefanski, in my opinion, who I think is a fantastic coach. People have their different
Two-time
opinions.
coach of the year, blah,
right.
blah, blah.
But right. There's no way, as Kevin Stefanski, you're watching Dylan Gabriel and seeing something that you think is there. Because I
No.
haven't, from the eye test, which means even deeper, there's so many things flawed with his game.
Well, that was going to be the end of my point, too, was that I don't know that it's happening in this way. Dylan Gabriel will be the one they would probably try to prop up, while Shador is the one they tried to knock down. But do I think in the NFL there's a little bit of politicking when it comes to which horse are we going to back? Absolutely. Now, that said, no, I don't think they're pushing Dylan Gabriel to fail. I actually honestly think he was the GM's pick, and Shador was more of an ownership's idea.
But that
According
came
to
out.
owner,
That
he
came
wasn't.
out this week. Jimmy Haslam said that it was a Andrew Berry pick through and through.
I'll
And
give
that's
you a
something we
list of
could get
50
into.
things Jimmy Haslam said, and 48 of them aren't true.
All right,
But
right.
fair enough. It did come out this week.
Yeah, a lot of interesting comments from Jimmy Haslam that particular day.
You want to go through some of them? I have them pulled up. If
Sure,
you want
let's
to talk
do it.
about it.
Heck yeah.
Let me get down here for a second. I have all the quotables,
The quotables.
all of the quotables.
Quotables and notables.
And this goes back into the Tim Lyons comment I referenced earlier. So let's talk Quinshon Judkins for a second. He was
Yikes.
quoted as saying it's extremely frustrating. We've had 3 guys arrested this offseason. That's not acceptable. We're not communicating as well as we should. Haslam also, at the end of the day, said he's cautiously optimistic that Judkins will play for them this year. What do you guys think about all of that? John, you haven't been on the show, so you could give your little take on the Judkins situation as well.
I think it's bad for a million reasons. Domestic violence has no place in the NFL or in the United States, as far as I'm concerned.
Or the
if he
world.
did the thing, right? If he did the things that he's accused of, it's deplorable. Coming back to sports and just football, though, we've seen this play out before. I think it's okay. You do the crime, you do the time. The NFL typically suspends people for about 6 games for this kind of stuff.
4 to 6, typically. Yeah.
He's going to sit out 4 to 6 games. He's going to come back and play, and it'll be week 7 at the latest. I think that's just how the NFL works. And I think, for the record, he's going to be an effective back. He was the one I was most looking forward to in the offensive backfield coming into training camp this year, and it sucks that we won't get to see him.
This is where, and I've said it, when you and I did the show, Noah, I think the Browns are disappointed, obviously, but a small part of them goes, okay, he wasn't signed. We can maneuver his contract.
We
now
don't
in a
have
way
to
that's
worry
way
about
more favorable
guaranteeing
to
it.
us.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
The
It cost
Haslam-
himself money and guaranteed money.
I'm going to go macro with it when I talk about Haslam because he talks to the media, 2, 3, 4 times a year at max, depending on what's going on with the team.
A lot lately, but yeah.
Right. He has no filter. It's like he's not media trained to me because some of the things that he says, whether it be like Deshaun Watson's a big swinger or miss, or we're cautiously optimistic that Quinshon Judkins is going to play for the team this year. Meanwhile, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski are like, no comment at this time.
Billionaires are not media trained.
Oh, I know.
Because nobody can go up to them and say, sir, what you said last time, don't say that again. That doesn't happen. So he's not. He's off the cuff.
It's
It's
just
tough to
adds-
convince somebody who's done things their way that netted them $5 billion that doing things your way is the
That's
better
fair. That's
option.
fair too, 100%. It's just the amount of quotables we get every time this guy takes the stage is so fun for us because we get to sit here and talk about
Interesting
it.
dude.
So
for
throw
sure.
some our way.
Yeah, let me get to it. Let me pull the notes back up. Organizational philosophy. Here's a good one. We've got to give these players, young players, time to mature. We're committed to building something long-term. You won't see us overreact. Andrew Berry makes the picks. Kevin Stefanski calls the plays. Everyone stays in their lane. This was talking a little bit about the Shedeur Sanders situation, which, for those who don't know, they were talking about it in the media that Jimmy Haslam wasn't co-signing the Sanders signing, for example. How did you take some of the organizational philosophy things that Jimmy Haslam had to mention?
I thought it was standard issue, status
I'm
quo
the
kind of
same way.
stuff. It's like
Right.
you say they don't take PR people's advice, and then you bring the thing up, and it's like the PR handbook. I think the only thing that Jimmy Haslam has said in the last month, when he asked him about Quinshon Judkins, they basically said it's unacceptable and we have to do better. And I think I texted you, Noah, or told you, and I'm like, that could be the Cleveland Browns motto since 1999.
And I used it as a tweet. I got me some likes. So
Yeah.
cheers to that, brother. Cheers to that. Thank you for the engagement. I appreciate it.
I love it. I think that's the truth. This sucks. We know it sucks, and we have to do better. Cleveland Browns football since, unfortunately, 1990. I'll call it 96. This is a team left in 95.
Yeah, fair.
Do you think part of this, too, comes from the fact that who was the old, president of operations or whatever that was making a lot of decisions?
DePodesta?
Do you think
Holmgren?
Do you think he learned some lessons from?
I don't
from
think
that?
any of these guys have, or else we'd have a winning football team.
Well,
And that's
Or at
being
least
pessimistic
I meant
again.
from a management of the team perspective.
At least a
I think
500
I think
football
Jimmy sees that he ceded a lot of control, and
he's been open in the media too. Just to piggyback off the point you're making, he's been open in the media about how embarrassed he is about the amount of hire fire he did when he first became the owner of the Cleveland Browns.
it's an interesting. All right, give us another quote.
Yeah, let's go in deeper to the quarterback situation because we didn't exactly hit on it. That was Andrew Berry's decision, not mine. Talking about, of course, Shedeur Sanders. If you told me
Bullshit. Sorry,
told
kids.
me
But
Friday
that is
night,
not true.
if you told me Friday night we were taking Sanders, I would have said that's not happening. It's premature to say Deshaun Watson will never play for us again. And the Watson trade was a big swing and a miss, was something he doubled down on yet again.
Wait, notice what he said though. His words are very careful here. If you would have told me on Friday night, that means he didn't think Shedeur would be available.
On
where they
100%.
selected him.
That's what I took out of
The
it.
pick
too.
was directed by Jimmy Haslam. I don't care what he says.
If you'd have told me on Friday night, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he fell to the fifth is still obviously a question mark in many of our minds. We've talked about it multiple times before. Do you guys are both in agreement that it's still a Jimmy over Andrew pick? Because to
Yeah.
me, I start
Yes.
leaning towards Barry now.
I
Because
lean
think
towards
he
Barry.
was-
I like him. I think he's a good guy good at his job, I mean. He is the owner of the team. He signs everybody's paychecks. And if he has a really good, well-thought-out strategy, or if he just has a wild hair up his ass, what he says goes. He owns the team. So do I think that 100% of the time it's just AB and nobody else can say anything?
Yeah.
No, because if Jimmy Haslam walks into the draft war room in the second round and says, we're taking this guy, who has the authority to tell him no?
I mean, that's totally fair. No one does. That's how that works
Yeah.
when you're the owner in the NFL.
Now, does
We
Haslam
just wish
medal on the regular? It doesn't seem like it, but he medals.
that's the narrative, though, that he does.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think out of all 32 NFL owners, Jimmy Haslam's on the meddling side. He's not Jerry Jones, but
He's
not going
closer to Jerry than he is
Bob
someone else.
Kraft. Yeah.
Can I take us a different direction for a second? Do you mind, Erik? We're
Go
still
for
on
it.
Browns.
Do whatever you want, buddy.
Kenny Pickett returned to practice yesterday in a limited role. I believe he was in a limited role for today as well. A lot of fans obviously hate on Pickett because he was the Steelers quarterback and they wanted to shove it down our throats that he was going to be the franchise, blah, 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 blah. To me, Pickett, now I know I said Sanders most impressive and then Flacco, but Pickett has looked good as well. The only
He
quarterback
has.
that I haven't seen look good is Dylan Gabriel, if I'm being honest. But Pickett has looked well, and I think they're in favor of starting him because he's the youngest, blah, 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 trying to get a Sam Darnold situation. When we talked last, we thought he was going to be out for a lot longer based off of
We did, yeah.
the rhetoric that was being thrown around Kenny Pickett's name. Do you think he still has a good opportunity now that he's back? Do you think they're still in favor of him? Where are you guys at with Kenny Pickett?
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
I think they're going to trade him or going to cut him. They're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks. He's the odd man out. We have 2 quarterbacks that we drafted that
Odd
they're
man
going to
out
keep.
over Dylan Gabriel?
Yes.
Well,
'Cause Dylan
they're not
Gabriel
getting
just
rid
got
of either
drafted.
of the rookies. Yeah, they're not getting rid of either.
And
of the
Joe
rookies.
Flacco has outplayed him to start. I think it sounds crazy, but you guys might not remember it. When we first got all of these quarterbacks and saw the lay of the land, I said, obviously Kenny Pickett is the odd man out if he can't outperform Joe Flacco.
But you
If
don't
got
think that they're thinking about the future? Because Joe Flacco's 106.
What part of the future has
But-
Kenny Pickett in it?
But even if they start Kenny Pickett next
He
year, like
stinks.
they're not gonna. Well,
I
and
would-
say he becomes Sam Darnold
He's
this year.
athletic. He
Yeah,
has
hey-
raw potential.
I mean,
Say he
Shaq
beca-
was athletic. I don't want him starting at quarterback.
Listen to me for a second. Say he becomes
Being athletic
the
isn't
Sam
enough.
Darnold of this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say it happens.
I
He's-
still don't believe him, but go on.
Neither do I.
He'd have to play, though. I'm already going to say we have
Okay,
a
but
fundamental-
say he does.
It's the AFC North. We're going to
Say
play
he
3
does.
quarterbacks.
Listen to me. Say he
won't be one of
does.
them.
If he plays and that happens,
Yeah.
I still don't know if we can even sign him because of all the money that's tied up in Watson anyway.
that's fair,
and they don't
too.
want to put more money in that quarterback room until he's gone.
Kenny Pickett adds
That is a fair
absolutely
point.
nothing to this team. Either you want to see what you have in a young quarterback. The young quarterback is good. They come in behind Flacco, play well, and you got your guy. Or you want to be bad enough that you say, okay, I've seen these 2 guys. They're not the answer, and we can draft somebody next year with our 2 first-round draft picks. Kenny Pickett gets you to 7 wins, and you're just in purgatory.
Yeah.
There's no plausible – I haven't heard a single argument from anyone as to why Kenny Pickett should play a snap for this team this year. And if you have one, I'll hear it out.
I don't. For the record, we did talk about
So cut him.
the rumor mill of Arch Manning next year. I think Arch is going to be in college for 2 more years.
That's another quotable by
really?
Jimmy Haslam as well. He said that it's going to be, we think, and it's 2 more years for Arch Manning before he comes out for the draft, which doesn't surprise me with his ties to the Manning family, of course, which we talked about on the last episode. Go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah. So to sum it all up, if you say we got 4 quarterbacks, it's crazy to keep more than 3. Who's going to be the odd man out? And I said the statement of something to the effect of, I haven't heard a single plausible reason why Kenny Pickett should play a single snap for this team. And you said, I agree. And then I said I'd cut him. That's what you do with players who aren't going to play for you, who don't help your franchise. They're not going to keep 4 guys. Kenny Pickett's the odd man
In
out.
your defense, John, out of all the quarterbacks on the roster that I think would clear waivers and make the practice squad, it would be Kenny Pickett.
Correct.
But I am in the firm belief and the firm camp, unless we get a trade offer that, even if it's a 5th or whatever for any of the quarterbacks, not the rookies, but Flacco or Pickett, they'll do that, or they'll
You
just
think
try
they're
to-
shipping Flacco?
I don't think they're shipping anyone.
No.
My real take
But
is
if
that
they
they're going to
ship
carry
some-
4 this year, and we're going to see all 4 of them play at some
I
point.
kind of think that too.
You think they're going to carry 4?
Andrew hasn't ruled it out. He said specifically we might.
If
Right.
we were in a win now window, 100% would not carry 4. They are trying to see what they have anywhere and everywhere. They're casting lines out to see if we have a franchise quarterback anywhere. Joe Flacco's the safety net, so the fishing net. I don't know.
Joe Flacco went 5-1 last time he played here, though, and is I think
But he's
5-1.
not the future of the team. He's
He's
got
not,
1-2
but
years
he
left.
He could win games.
I'm telling you.
I think Flacco is your game 1 starter.
They're going
I
to
hope
surprise
so.
you, boys. With this defense, I think they're going to surprise.
We'll see.
I hope you're right, man, because I want to watch
too.
Meaningto.
I'm really hopeful.
I hope Shador comes in, beats out Flacco, and wins 13 games. We don't have to talk about quarterback for 15 years.
And then we have 2
My hope-
first-round draft picks to use on, of course, my favorite
Wide
offensive
receivers.
lineman. No, offensive lineman.
Wide receivers.
Offensive lineman. And then a wide receiver.
First round picks with we won't touch that today.